Peace be upon you and may Allah's mercy and blessings be upon you. Hope you are well. The purpose of this channel is to understand statistics from every aspect. There is an excellent series of questions and answers, which will make it easier to understand the topic of statistics. So I request you to subscribe my YouTube channel. Let's start today's video. In this video we will talk about Question 20. Define and discuss variance. Question 21. Discuss merits and demerits of variance. Question 22. Mean deviation as minimum while taking the deviations from median. Then why do we take sum of square of deviations from mean while calculating the variance? Question 23. How does variance is affected by the change of origin and scale? Question 24. What is the difference between absolute and relative dispersion? Question 25. Define and describe in brief standard deviation. Question 26. Explain median absolute deviation. Question 27. Comment on the variances of median and sample mean based on a sample of size n from a normal population having variance sigma squared. Question 28. How variability is indicated by a measure of dispersion. Question 29. What are the different names given to standard deviation? Let's start today's lesson. Question 20. Define and discuss variance. Answer. The average of the square of the deviations taken from mean is called variance. The population variance is generally denoted by sigma squared and its estimate, sample variance, by s square. For n population values x1, x2, up to xn, having the population mean mu, the population variance. Sigma square equals 1 divided by n, sum of xi minus mu whole square. For I equals 1, 2, n, where mu equals xi divided by n, an estimate of sigma squared based on n sample values x1, x2, up to xn, the sample variance. S square equals 1 divided by n minus 1, sum of xi minus x bar whole square. For I equals 1, 2, up to n, and x bar equals sum of xi divided by n. For a frequency distribution of sample values x1, x2, up to xn having frequencies f1, f2, up to fn respectively. The sample variance, s square equals 1 divided by n minus 1, sum of fi into xi minus x bar whole square, is equal to 1 divided by n minus 1 into sum of fi, xi square minus sum of fi xi whole square divided by n, where n equals sum of fi. For I equals 1, 2, up to k. Question 21. Discuss merits and demerits of variance. Answer. It possesses all the requisites of a good measure of dispersion except that its unit is square, the unit of measurement of variate values. Hence, many times it becomes difficult to actually adjudge the magnitude of variation. Also, variance is sensitive to extreme values. Variance is the backbone of statistics. Question 22. Mean deviation as minimum while taking the deviations from median. Then why do we take sum of square of deviations from mean while calculating the variance? Answer. Deviations from mean are used for variance because sum of squares of deviations from mean is minimum. Question 23. How does variance is affected by the change of origin and scale? Answer. Variance is independent of change of origin, but is affected by the change of scale. If each observation of a data set is multiplied by c, then the variance of new data set is c squared times the variance of original data. Question 24. What is the difference between absolute and relative dispersion? Answer. If the unit of a measure of dispersion is in same terms as that of the observations of a series, it is called absolute measure of dispersion. For example, height in centimeters, weight in kilogram, income in rupees, etc. In this case, two series, having different units of dispersion, cannot be compared. Hence, for comparison of two series having different units of measurement, one requires an unit-less measure of dispersion. Such measures are termed as relative measures or coefficient of dispersion. For this, a measure of dispersion is usually divided by mean used in its calculation and multiplied by 100. This provides the measure expressed in percentage which is fit for comparison of any two or more series. Question 25. Define and describe in brief standard deviation. Answer. The positive square root of the variance is called standard deviation. The idea of standard deviation was first given by Karl Pearson in 1893. Symbolically, sigma equals square root of sigma square. Or for sample, s equals square root of s square. It fulfills all the requisites of a good measure of dispersion except that it is sensitive to extreme values. That is why it is known as standard deviation. Question 26. Explain median absolute deviation. Answer. Standard deviation is affected by extreme values. Hence, the median absolute deviation is an alternative measure of dispersion. Median absolute deviation is defined as the median of the absolute deviation taken from median. It is seldom used as it is not easily amenable to further algebraic treatment. Moreover, it is not involved in distribution function. The formula for median absolute deviation is, median absolute deviation equals median, absolute of xi, minus xmd. Question 27. Comment on the variances of median and sample mean based on a sample of size n from a normal population having variance sigma squared. Answer. Variance of sample median for samples of size n from a normal population is a sigma squared divided by 2n, which is greater than the variance of sample mean x bar, which is equal to sigma squared divided by n. Question 28. How variability is indicated by a measure of dispersion. Answer. Lesser the value of a measure of dispersion, more is the degree of nearness of observations. It is also an indicator of homogeneity of values of a series. Question 29. What are the different names given to standard deviation? Answer. Standard deviation is also known as mean error, mean square error, or root mean square deviation from mean. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon for latest updates.